Hello YouTube friends. I tried to make this video, the first one that I received had a faulty volume pot. So I sent it back and the folks at Musician's Friend made it pretty easy to do an exchange, although they don't call it exchanges anymore, which for someone who pays attention to semantics might bother you. I had a fairly lengthy discussion with an online chat agent trying to tell me that they don't do exchanges anymore, which because of price matching and stuff I thought meant that I was going to have to pay more for this guitar. Turns out that you don't have to, so if you ever have to exchange something with your Musician's Friend, assuming that it's faulty and you know just want the same item get shipped out to you, this is the way they do it now. They will have you reorder it again, so you don't have to wait for them to get the return, which is why they're not calling it exchanging anymore. You reorder it, and then they give you a return authorization to send your broken or faulty item back to them. Sounds like exchanging to me. Anyway, for those who might be in that situation with Musician's Friend in the future, maybe that'll be helpful to clear up some confusion. But let's take a look in the box, see what's in there. So they pack it pretty well. This outside box is what I guess I would say is kind of like a medium strength, and you know, not super thick, but could definitely be thinner. So it's adequate, because then there's another box inside here. Has more packing, you know, it's got packing material. And there's the box. Get that box out of the way. Here's the other box you've got to get. Ooh. So they are made in Indonesia. And my first one did not have this inspection sticker on here. It says guitar on it. There are a few staples in here. We'll cut away. You don't need to see me wrestling with these staples. But the inside box is a little bit more rigid. If you look, this is pretty thick here. Nice and sturdy. I'll be right back. As I mentioned, it's interesting, there's more labels on this box than the first one that I got. But the box is the same. It just has more identifying marks. And here you go. There's the model of the guitar, the Pacifica 611 VFM, which means it's got the tremolo arm as opposed to a hardtail bridge, which has no tremolo, has a fixed bridge. Got some reinforcement up by the headstock and down the bow of the guitar. And see here, it's wrapped, so you know, more than adequately packed, I would say. You've got more cardboard in here. Then this little pouch here, we've got the tremolo arm, the whammy bar, a surprisingly thick user's manual, some Allen wrenches, some other stuff. Take this out here too. It's packed like backwards, I guess you could say. The body's facing away. Oh, you see there's more reinforced cardboard blocks in there. Let me take this wrapping off. There she is. Alright. And this looks a lot like the first one I got. They call this caramel finish, and on the box it actually says caramel brown. Before I purchased it, I asked an agent what color it was, and he said it was like a red, but it's kind of a dull red. I don't know how much you can tell. I was hoping for something a little bit more orange, but I got a good deal on it, so I'm happy with it. And you got this anti-corrosion paper, I guess, for the string. Slides off. And here it is. I'll go over some of the features of it when I get a chance to play it tomorrow. We'll go over that, but let's see if you can get a good look at it. that? Hey, that's me. That's a reflection of me. Alright, so now I get to play the Yamaha Pacifica 611 VFM. They don't put those letters after it on the Musician's Friend website anymore, but it's got the tremolo arm here as opposed to the hardtail option, which both listed at $5.99 on the site there. I got this between Black Friday and Christmas of last year, and the first one arrived with a totally messed up volume knob. If I left it around like, I don't know, 7 or 8, it would crackle, and like if I just set it in place, and it made these hideous noises, and it, you know, was amplified whenever I actually was trying to play if I moved it. So I sent it back and I got second one. So I've had this one since January. So I've gotten to play on it a lot. I really like it. It's become my go-to guitar. Just to quickly go through the features of it. It's got an Alder body with a thin maple like top on here. Very thin. It's just for looks, but I think it looks nice. This is called the Caramel Burst finish, and on the website it looks a little bit more orange than this, but it's pretty red. I'm okay with it though. I was hoping it was gonna be a little bit like reddish orange, but it's a little more red than orange. But I've grown accustomed to it. I really like it. And it's got Seymour Duncan pickups, which is one of the main like selling points of this guitar. Of a guitar at this price point to have Seymour Duncans. It's got an SP90. This is my first guitar with any P90s in it. It's kind of the reason I wanted to look into this guitar. It's got a P90, the SP90 in the neck and the bridge. It has the TB14 humbucker, but it's coil tappable. And it's got a Graphtec nut and a Wilkinson VS50 tremolo bridge. And what else? Grover locking tuners. My first set of Grover locking tuners. And so far I like them. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this little thing I came up with. And I'm running this through my Vox Valvetronics AD50 VT amp over here. And I'm going to play it all clean first, and I'll go through all the pickup combinations. So this could take a little while, especially because we have the coil tappable, you know, so 3-way switch and the coil tappable humbucking pickup in the bridge position. So I'm going to start just with the P90 first, and this is like a little chord progression, and this is clean. So P90 first. Position. This is with the humbucker on, so both pickups, middle switch position. This is just the humbucker, again in humbucking mode. So now I'll do the two positions that can use the single coil, the humbucker and the single coil with the volume knob. You just pull it up, and this is all at on my guitar, 100% volume and tone all the way up as well. Still clean here with the middle position with the single coil. just the single coil, the humbucker in the single coil position. So you can see there's a lot of different tonal varieties, which is a great thing about this guitar. I really like it. So now I'm going to turn up the gain here, and we'll get like a moderate gain. This amp is a modeling amp. It's set on the AC 30 TB setting, and that was with the gain as low as I could put it. And here's it with the gain in the middle. Trying to get the volume to be similar. Okay, so here's just the in the P90 pickup position. Middle position in the humbucker in humbucking mode. Now just the humbucker in humbucking position. The ones that allow you to use the coil tap. So this is the middle position, the P90 and the humbucker in single coil mode. Finally, just the humbucker in single coil mode. Okay, so I typically, although I do switch around a lot, I typically use it in the middle pickup position with the humbucker and single coil. So got the P90 mixed with the single coil sound. But I do like the P90 by itself, and I mean, really, there's all, there's so many different things you can do with it. This is a little bit more distortion gain than I might typically use, but it's fairly close. That might be like what I would use on a solo, but when I'm just playing, I use it a little bit overdriven, but not completely clean. As I mentioned, I'm really glad that I ended up not getting the hardtail version of this Pacifica, because I find that I use it a good bit. You can use it on just ambient like guitar held out chords. play solos where you detune all the notes. But yeah, as you can tell, I really like this guitar. It has become my normal guitar. After playing, or my everyday guitar, after playing with it for about 8 months, I can give you my pros and cons for it. I mean, well, it's the whole list of pros. I guess I'll just talk very briefly about the cons. I like everything about it except the knobs and maybe like the wiring in the back. The knobs are developing a little bit of like a patina already. They're not quite as shiny where I would touch them. The tone knob spins, and you might find this if you look up reviews. A lot of people don't like how fast the tone knob spins. I'm not too fond of it either. It is likely due to the fact that it is the pull switch. Speaking of switches, I'm not particularly fond of the three-way selector here either. They just seem a bit on the cheap side. The tone knob and the volume knob are dime size as opposed to the larger ones that you might be used to. So I mean, you could switch them out, I guess. I probably won't do it unless something majorly wrong goes with it. And then again, also the three-way selector switch just feels a little flimsy, a little weak. But for such an affordable guitar, it's kind of a minor gripe. Oh yes, one other thing I wanted to mention. So I mentioned on the first guitar that I got, the volume knob would crackle and be all sorts of weird things. This one is also, I think there's some sort of grounding issue. If I play, like say I want to play a harmonic and just let it ring, but I want to do a volume swell with my hand on the guitar, I can't really do it. You hear this crackling? Especially as the notes start to fade out. If I touch a string though, that crackling goes away. So I've kind of worked my way around it, but I feel like there's some sort of grounding issue back there. Okay, so there you have it. Again, I don't like to end the video on a down note. I still recommend this guitar. I'd give it probably like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Again, this is the Yamaha Pacifica 611. I believe they call this one the VFM, but again, make sure if you want the tremolo, make sure that you look at those ones because there is also a hardtail version. It looks very similar and costs the same price most of the time. Yes, again, the Yamaha Pacifica 611 and Caramel Burst comes in a bunch of other flavors as well. Thanks again for watching.